Right. Okay. So why only one default instance per machine means, okay, computer name is not shareable. Okay. Say for example, if you have instances, if you have two instances with the same name, if you have two instances with the same name, if you are just give the name of the instance to connect, which instance it will connect, it will be a problem, right? So that's why computer name is not shareable between the instances. Only one computer name will be there. So that's why you can install only one default instance per box. Named instance, you are going to give your own name, right? So how many instances you want to install, how many named instances you want to install, you can install up to 49 named instances. Why? Because every instance you are going to change the name. Okay, for every instance you will give different names, but for default instance you will not get chance to give the name. It will automatically took the computer name as an instance name. So computer name is not shareable between the multiple instances, right? So only one default instance per box. Okay, right. Can I install a SQL Server 2005 default instance? Just 1 minute. Okay.
Computer name. Hello.
Right, right. Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Right. Okay. So can I install SQL Server 2005, one SQL Server 2005 default instance and one SQL Server 2012 default instance in a same machine? Both are
Yeah, you
different
can.
versions, right? 2005 is different version, 2012 is different version. Okay. So I want to install SQL Server 2005 default instance. I want to install SQL Server 2012 default instance. Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible, sir.
It's possible. Okay. Any other answers?
I didn't get to tell you again.
See, we have different versions, right, in SQL Server 2005, 8, 8 or to 12, 16, right? These are the versions, right? So in a single machine, in a Windows server, we can install multiple instances, multiple versions. I can install 2005, I can install 2012 in this box, I can install 2016. Okay. What I am saying is, can I install 2005 default instance and 2012 default instance in the same machine?
You can.
I can install. Okay, fine. Okay. The answer is no, you cannot install. Okay. Two default instances again. That's why just now I told you, right? Only one default instance per box. Only one default instance per machine. Box or machine or Windows server, anything is same. Okay. So you cannot install multiple default instances even though they belongs to a same version or they belongs to a different version. Just now I told you. Okay, the default instance will take the computer name. If SQL Server 2005 default instance took the computer name, what SQL Server 2012 will took? Same, it has to take the computer name, right?
But
So,
the
yeah,
software is different, no, sir.
but it will not accept.
The
Even
version is different, no, sir.
version is different also in one management studio. Okay, in say for example, let me open my 2000 local SSMS. Okay, this is my local SSMS. So now I want to connect to my 2012 instance. I want to connect to my 2005 instance. What is the name of 2012 instance? So for example, if my computer name is Jagadish PC. Okay, my computer name is Jagadish PC. This is my computer name. Now I want to connect to 2012 default instance. What name I have to give? Normally, my computer name is Jagadish PC. Okay, now I want to connect to 2012 instance. what name I have to give to connect to the 2012 default instance? I have to give computer name, right?
Yes.
Right. So I gave 2012 Jagdish PC. I just gave 2012 for Jagdish PC. Then I want to connect to 2005 instance. Now again, what name I have to give?
It's not
2005.
possible to
2001.
install it.
Sorry.
It's not possible to install default install with the same
Yes.
computer name.
Yes. Okay. Why? Because it is going to take the computer name, right? So this computer name is not shareable between the same version and between the multiple versions also. Right? Clear? So only one instance per box, whether it is the 2005, 8, 8R to 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, any version, only one default instance per box, right? This is all your default instance. Okay, default instance and named instance
Sir,
discussion. Yes, Peter.
one, yeah, one more doubt, sir.
Yes.
Ravi from.
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah, in the this one management studio we cannot install two
See, management studio we can install two.
side by side.
You can install multiple
Hmm.
management studios also, but the same concept will follow. Okay, even though
Okay.
if you install two, see, I have two management studios now, but while connecting, what you will give, same name you will give, right? Again, you are going to give computer name, right? So it is going to call the computer name only. It's not about the management studio. At the end, it has to call the computer name. Okay, so you cannot call the computer
Okay.
name in two different instances. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, fine, Peter. Any issues?
Sir, one doubt.
Yes.
If I going to install second time,
Okay.
I selected default.
Okay.
It will going to complete the installation or round.
It will not allow you to select first one also. Okay. Once you select the second default instance for the first time, this option will be grayed out. Okay. You cannot see this option. You can see only this option only. So it's not matter of going forward. You don't have any option in the screen. If I again want to install the same SQL Server 2005, this option will be blocked. Okay. You can see only this option. Got it?
Hello.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, can I connect higher version of SQL
Yes,
Server in
I'll tell you in the
lower
management
version?
studio discussion. Okay. I'll tell
Okay.
you in the management studio. We have management studio class. Okay. I'll tell you how to connect and all, what are the requirements and can I connect higher version of the SQL Server in the lower version of management studio or not. Okay. Everything we will discuss. Right. That is the question,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay, fine. So I have one more question. Once I just successfully installed my default instance, after installation, can I convert the default instance to named instance?
No, you cannot convert.
Okay, right, fine. Okay, any other answers?
I think we can.
You can convert from default to named to default, anything to anything, right?
You already said like it's
No, I don't think so.
degrade.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Default option will degrade.
That is okay. That's fine. After installation, no, I'm not saying next installation. After installation of this, I want to convert the same instance. What I'm installing now, I want to convert the same instance to named instance. I'm installing as a default instance, right? Now I want to convert into named instance after installation. Is it possible?
Yeah, maybe it's possible.
Okay, right. So the answer is no, it's not
By
possible. Okay.
by def
You cannot convert once your installation is successful. You cannot convert to default to named or named to default instance. Anything to anything is not possible. Architecture wise, if you install default instance, that's it. If you want to convert into named instance, it's not possible. Okay. If you want named instance, again you have to install named instance, but you cannot convert the existing instance to named instance. Clear? Fine. Any issues?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now let me proceed. Okay. Okay. Before that, so if you select named instance, okay, you have to give the instance name, right? So we have some specifications in giving the instance name. What are the specifications? You cannot give your own name and all. You have to follow some rules, okay? The instance name should be less than 16 characters, not more than 16 characters, okay? The instance name should be less than 16 characters. Anita matlad. Hmm. The instance name should be less than 16 characters, okay? You cannot give the instance name more than 16 characters. And you cannot start with the instance name with numbers. Instance name cannot start with numbers. Numbers, okay? It has to start with alphabets only. Instance name has to start with alphabets only, okay? And what are the other requirements you should have in setting up the instance name? Okay, special characters. You cannot include any special characters in the instance name. Okay, it will accept dollar and underscore. These two special characters only it will accept the instance name. Okay, other than these two, it doesn't accept any other special characters like @ symbol, hash symbol, percentage symbol. You cannot give any other special characters other than these two. SQL Server will accept these two special characters in the instance name. Okay, but again you cannot start your instance name with dollar and all. You can give in the middle of the name, you can give at the end of the name, but don't start with the special characters. You have to start your instance name with the alphabets, right? And you can give only these two special characters. Other special characters is not going to accept. And your instance name is cannot greater than more than 16 characters, okay? Even see here, I want to give instance name like this, SQL Server 2005. This is my instance name. Can I give like this here? I have started. I have started with
Spaces,
alphabets. Okay.
spaces are not allowed.
Yes, very good. Okay, space is also a special character. You cannot give spaces in between the instance name. Okay, right? So you have to give like this, or else you can give if you want to give any special characters. You can give underscore or dollar symbol. Okay, right? Like this you can give, but you cannot start with the dollar symbol, underscore symbol. The instance name and all cannot start with a dollar and underscore symbol. You can put anywhere in the instance name. Okay, so once you just give the instance name, what is the complete instance name of the SQL Server? Computer name backslash instance name. This is the complete name of the instance. Okay, if you can see here, right? Let me connect to my named instance. See here, if I just click connect, automatically I can connect. Okay, this is my computer name. Jagadish PC is my computer name. Backslash, you can see the backslash symbol, right? And Rao 2K12 is the my instance name, right? The computer name slash, you have to give like this only. If you simply give the instance name, you cannot connect, it will throw error. So while connecting, you have to give the computer name slash your instance name. So this is the complete SQL Server instance name. Okay, right? Any issues, any doubts? Is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, okay, right. Okay, let me proceed. So let me select the default instance. Next, right. This is the service account screen. What is this service account and all? Just listen carefully. Very important, this service account. Okay. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Okay. So I'll give you one example. See, for every software, Microsoft is going to use one service account. Every software will have service account. Okay. Why? Because every software will work under a service. If you install some antivirus service account, just give me a minute. Okay. If you install any software like antivirus or else some other tools, if you install anything, okay, automatically one service will be created for that software. If that service is up and running, then only that software will work. Where I can see all the services. If you go to services.msc, you can see all the services. Okay. Just go to run services.msc. If you type like this, you can see all the services of all other softwares. Right, these are my services. Okay. Okay. So all softwares, if you install Windows, or sorry, if you install antivirus softwares, if you install .NET Framework software, all services, all softwares are going to run based on these services only. For each software, you will get the services. Okay. Right. SQL Server. Once you start installing the SQL Server, SQL Server also will get some services. Okay. So if you can see this logon as field, this is your service account. Okay. This is your service account, means your SQL server is going to work on basis of this particular service accounts and all. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Okay. We'll discuss what the service account will do. Okay. Right. So I'll give you this antivirus software. I'll give you the example of antivirus software. So what actually antivirus will do? If you install an antivirus software, what it will do exactly?
If any virus, it will detect.
It will detect the virus, and then what it will do?
It will remove.
It will remove the suspicious files, right? That is the work of the antivirus. So how it will detect?
By reading each one.
Yes, it will scan all the copies. It will scan all the files. It will scan all the folders. Like that it will scan, and if it found any suspicious file, how it knows it is a suspicious file? How it knows it is a suspicious file? Antivirus separately will maintain a database. In the database, all the suspicious file extensions will be stored. So it will, every time it will compare each file with the suspicious file extension. Okay, something .txu is there. It will check .txu is a antivirus file. It will check this, that .txu files extensions are there in its own database. Okay, it will just check what are the suspicious file extensions are there in the database. That files only it will detect as a suspicious file. If .txu file is not there in the antivirus database, okay, even the .txu file is a virus file, if that file extension is not there in their database, it will leave that file. Why? Because that file is not there in the antivirus database. So that's why you have to, every time you have to update your antivirus. Okay, when you update the antivirus, any new suspicious files are there, that antivirus database will be updated, and all the suspicious files will be added to the antivirus database, right? So it is going to scan the whole system. What is meant by scan? Scan means it is going to read the all the folders, all the drives, right? So who will read all these drives? Who will read all these files?
Virus.
Sorry,
Antivirus.
Antivirus, but antivirus will not read. On behalf of antivirus, one user will be there. Okay, on behalf of antivirus. See, antivirus cannot log into any folder, cannot read any files. Only user can do all these things. Reading, writing can be done by the users only, not softwares. Okay, right? So here that user on behalf of antivirus, one user account will read the data, one user account will write the data. Okay, that user account is called service account. Got it? Clear? So in the SQL server, what it will do in the SQL server? What is the use of the SQL server? First of all, what is the use of the SQL server?
Storing,
For storing,
processing,
processing,
retrieving the data.
retrieving the data. So storing means how it is going to store the data? It has
Table
to
form.
write the data, right? Yeah, it is going to store the data in the form of tables. Fine. Tables means it has to write the data to the disk, right? Retrieving means what? It has to read the data from the disk. So this reading and writing can be done by the service account. Every time reading and writing for any software, not only SQL Server, for any software, reading and writing, even antivirus also reading and writing will be there. Reading means scanning. What is meant by writing? If it found any suspicious files, it has to delete those suspicious files, right? Deleting means writing. So reading and writing can be done by the service account. So if you want to install SQL Server, you have to mention the service accounts also. These service accounts will help you to read the data from the disk, will help you to write the data to the disk. Clear? Clear, or any doubts are there in the service account?
User in the sense
User
that
in the
is
sense, one, what we can say, you have a laptop, right? Right, you have laptop, right? If you want to
yes.
log in, yeah, if you want to log into the laptop, you have to give one password, right? Your name will be
Yeah.
there, right? Your name will be there. So if you want to open the laptop, you have to provide that password. What is that name? That is called one user. User in the sense one account to access the
You said
system.
you said like you have to read that file
Yes.
because actually we don't know how to read
No
that
need
file
to
and
see, don't worry about it. No need to worry. You have to provide the service account. That's it. Service account will take care of all those things. How to read it, how to write it. Okay.
okay.
You will not read. How much data you will read? Terabytes of data will be there. Read means what? Simply reading the data or what? You cannot read. You cannot understand the format also. User account will take care of it. You have to simply provide the user account. That's it. User account
Okay,
means
clear.
one user. That's it. One user. Like how you are in a user in the laptop. In the same way, you can be a service account also. You can be a service account. No issues in that. Okay. We can convert your account into a service account. Any user can be converted into a service account. Okay. So the service account is an account which helps to run the service. This is going to read the data from the disk, and the service account is going to write the data to the disk. This is the use of the service account. Okay. We have two
Sir,
types. Yes. Yes. Yes.
service account whose control under
Windows Server, under Windows Server control.
Windows?
Windows, yeah, Windows Server is going to control all the service accounts.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any doubts?
Okay,
Any issues in the service account? Yeah.
they will they will decide which file is harmful and which file is not harmful, like.
Yes. 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 See, it's not about harmful and all. Okay. I just gave you the example of antivirus. In this case, what we have to consider, reading the files and writing the files. Okay. The service account is
Okay.
not. Yeah. It is not going to. The SQL Server service account is not going to check which is the harmful file, which is not harmful file and all. What is the use of the SQL Server service account? Reading the data and writing the data. That is the main use of the SQL Server service account. Only antivirus files, antivirus service accounts will decide harmful files or not harmful files and all. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah. Right? Can I proceed? Right. So we have two types of service accounts. In SQL Server, we have two types of service accounts. One is inbuilt service accounts. Inbuilt means whenever you install the SQL Server, sorry, Windows Server, automatically you will get this inbuilt service accounts. So what are the commander inbuilt service accounts? Local system, which is very powerful, local service, and network service. Okay, these three are inbuilt service accounts. In these three service accounts, local system is the high priority service account. Okay, for like we are going to use for the SQL Server and all. So if you can see here, right, just click on this login as field, you can see just 1 minute. Just check, I guess. Right, okay. So some issue is there with the internet. Okay. That's why I'm unable to connect using remote desktop. Okay, fine. Right, let me continue like this. Okay. So if you can see here, if you just click here, okay, you just click on login as field. There you can see local service, right? Local service like this. These are all local service accounts. Okay, and you can see here local system account. Okay, for some of the service it is going to use local system, some of the softwares it is going to use local service, and some of the softwares it is going very low priority softwares are going to use for network service. Okay, you can see here network service. Okay, this is your network service and all. If you just expand, double click on this column, you can see network service. Okay, so in these three service accounts, local system is the high priority. Okay, for the softwares like high priority softwares like SQL Server and all, it is going to use a local system service account, right? You can go for customized service accounts also. Customized service accounts. So these are all the inbuilt service accounts, right? These three are the inbuilt service accounts, right? So what is this customized service account? I don't want to use any of these three service accounts. Why? Because they are already busy with other softwares. If you can see here, either all the softwares are using your local system. All the softwares, most of the softwares are using local system. Okay, some of the softwares are using local service, and network service is very least priority service account. Okay, so if I choose the same inbuilt service account, it is already busy with other softwares. Okay, if I again choose the same local system service account to my SQL server, whenever it is free, then only it is going to write the data and all. So performance wise, I'll get some delay in writing the data and reading the data. If you choose a local system service account, performance wise, maybe I'm not saying it will be delay, but maybe it is going to read slowly. Why? Because it is already busy with other service accounts, right? See, I'll give you one example. Okay. I'm staying in a room. I'm staying in a room. Initially, I am the only one staying in a room. I have one maid. I have one server. Server means like he is going to help me. So one maid is there for me. So that maid daily she will come, she will work all the things, she will complete the things and she will go. To complete all her work, okay, it is going to take half an hour. Just cleaning the floor and all everything, cleaning everything. So it is just take half an hour for me to complete everything. That worker will come and she will complete all those works and all, she will go. Initially I'm the only one, right? So she is taking half an hour to complete the works. Now one more guy is added to the room. Okay, now two people are there in the room. Right. Again, this same worker is there. Only one worker is there. The same worker. Initially, she has to complete all the works in half an hour, but one more guy is added, so she will complete in 1 hour. Right? Half an hour plus half an hour for each guy, 1 hour. Third person came, but only one worker is there. How much time it will take to complete? 1.5 hours. So if the persons are adding to the room, automatically the time taking to complete the work also is going to add, right? It is going to increase, right? The time also is going to increase. In the same way, here, if I am having lot of softwares, it will take time to read the data, to write the data, to complete the operations. So that's why what I have decided, I'll choose my own service account. Okay, I'll choose my own service account. Means what? I'll give separate service account for each one in the room. Means I will have one worker. Another person will have one worker. Another person will have one worker. Three workers will be there. Total three workers, they are going to complete the work in a half an hour only, right? Earlier 1.5 hours it took to complete the work. Now half an hour, each one will take half an hour, so that your work will be completed in half an hour only. So that's why we are going to use the customized service accounts. Customized service accounts will be customized, means these are the dedicated service accounts for the SQL Server. If you choose local service account, local system and all, those service accounts are already used for other softwares also. Customized service account will help you to work with the individual SQL Server. Means this service account will help you for the SQL Server only. It will not touch other softwares. It will dedicated for the SQL Server. That is called customized service account. Is it clear? Any issues in the service account section?
That means you can allocate the custom to only
Yes.
one, right?
Yes, yes, you can give your own service account for only one instance. Right? Okay, any doubts? Any issues are there? Right. Now what I'll
Sir,
do, yeah, tell me.
maybe give the same service account to multiple instances.
Yeah, you can give it, no issues. You can give it. You can give to other services also. You can give other SQL servers also. The same service account, no issues. Right? Okay.
If any problem to service account,
Okay.
all instances will affected.
Yes, yes, of course, that's true. If you have any issues with the service account, all the instances will be affected. Means if your service account is unable to log in, if your service account does not have proper permissions, then your SQL server will not run.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Now what I'll tell, as of now I'll just install my SQL server with the default service account. Okay. Later I'll show you how to change the service accounts from default to customized. I'll create an account, one user account, and I'll convert that user account into service account. Okay, I'll show you. Why? Because in the organization we have to do that activity sometimes. Okay, that's why first I am going to install SQL Server with the inbuilt service accounts. Later I'll show you after installation how to change the service accounts from inbuilt service accounts to the customized service account. Right? Clear? Right. Okay, I am installing the service accounts with the inbuilt service account. You can see here, right? Built-in service account or inbuilt service account. Both are same. Use the built-in service account. Okay. you can select here local system, local service, network service. Okay, local service is not there. Local system, network service is there. I'm going to choose local system. Okay, right? Go to next. Right. This is the one more screen in the installation authentication mode. Okay, what is this authentication mode means? I'll discuss this authentication mode in the security concept. Okay, if you go for the security, there you will get a better idea what is this Windows authentication and mixed mode authentication. We have two types of authentication modes. One is Windows authentication, second one is mixed mode authentication. Windows authentication means if you have Windows login, then you can simply connect to the SQL server using the Windows login itself. Okay, in the Windows level it was already verified you as a proper user, so that you can connect to the SQL server without giving the password if you select the Windows authentication. If you select mixed mode authentication, you have to give, again you have to give the password. See here, if I select here, this is my SQL server, right? Authentication mode, Windows authentication, it is not asking any password. Why? Because this account, you can see, right, this grayed out account, this account is already successfully verified in the Windows level. While login to my Windows machine, I already gave the password. So in the Windows level itself, I was successfully verified. So again, it is not going to verify my username and password. If you select this mixed mode authentication or SQL Server authentication, now see here again, this login field is enabled, and you have to give the login and you have to give the password. Okay, right? So how these Windows authentication and mixed mode authentication will work, I'll discuss in the security concept. Okay, as of now, Windows authentication